Good morning.
Good morning, Sheriff.
How is everybody? Well, everything's muted, I guess, but Mister, are you with us this morning?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can.
There you go.
We'll go ahead and get started. I know everybody's probably got a busy day, so I appreciate everybody joining us again. I know Mary's with us. Mary, you're videoing with us this morning?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. All right, thank you. Commissioner, can you kind of give us an update this morning?
Yeah, an update on our COVID-19 call center. We have received about 34 calls or emails to the center since we opened on April 6th. Everything is going well. Jared is running that operation down there, and he's keeping everything documented to a nit and tittle, so that's working very well. And again, that number is 706-253-8978, or email at questions@pickenscountyga.gov. And then also, I want to thank the city for working with us yesterday to come out with a joint statement to provide some clarification after the governor's executive order. As most of you know, we are having a meeting with several elected officials this afternoon. Should have a better idea on how we will proceed. I met this morning with a skeleton crew of the staff here in the admin building, and we are going to abide by the April 30th scenario so far, and they're all in agreement that the admin building, we're still going to run the skeleton crews till April 30th, and then we'll sit back and make another decision on how we need to proceed on. I hope the governor is doing the right thing, and as we go forward, and but I just want to be sure that as we do go forward, that we have a plan B. Heaven forbid if this thing starts jumping back up again. And I don't know if you heard the 931, but we had, I think they said that 86 cases tested up in Gilmer County. Now, I asked the question, just to give everybody a heads up that missed if they didn't hear it. The question I wanted to know is, they've tested 86 people in the Gilmer County facility. I want to know how many from Pickens and how many from Fannin are getting tested also in that 86 group. Keep us the numbers together, because we want to be sure everybody's keeping tested that needs to be tested, and as we go forward. But that's pretty well all I've got right now to that. So y'all got any questions for me?
Rob, what kind of calls or questions are you getting through the call center? Do you know?
Mainly just clarification on on what the governor's expecting for this area, not necessarily Pickens County, but the overall governor's thing about what's shut down, what's not shut down, traveling, distancing, those type of questions. As far as I know, at this particular time, we're not getting any questions on SBA loans or any of that, and I figured that might be coming here in another few days, and so we're keeping them abreast on that. The banks, what I've been told, I don't have anything what I've been told that a lot of you local banks are helping some of the local businesses with SBA loans and those type of funding right now, and we're sitting back and waiting for the government, whether it's the state or feds, mostly the feds, to come out with another plan, since all that money evaporated in about 3 days. So that's pretty well what we're hearing, and I have been noticing the shelves in the grocery stores are starting to get replenished back up. That's really good for the community that everything is starting to get back on the shelf, and people just have to stay 6 foot apart, and might have to go when we wear masks before it's over with. I don't know, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Okay, and I know we talked some time ago about possibly getting some sites set up here in Pickens testing locals. If we're not seeing those numbers go up in LJ for folks going to Gilmer to be tested, is that something you think that we can still look at doing through the National Guard or public health?
Well, we're looking, that's a conversation we'll probably have at 1:30 today. Get everybody rest on that thing. Public health is going to have to monitor that thing, and to your point, National Guard would be an option if the governor would so request to run that type of operation here in Pickens County. I talked to Dr. Zachary Taylor the other day about it, and he didn't seem that he hadn't heard anything about anybody moving into Pickens. That's why they set the thing up in Gilmer to be halfway between Fannin and Pickens County, as well as the site they've got at Woodstock. Again, I'm back to my same question about the site at Woodstock. How many people from Pickens County are being tested at Woodstock? I don't have those numbers, and evidently they've got them, but they don't have no way to produce them. And I would just like to know, for overall purposes, for individuals that might want to ask the question, how many from Pickens County are able to go to the Cherokee County site or the Gilmer County site and get tested? That's actually from Pickens County. So, just
for the public's information, anybody living in Pickens that needs to be tested, if they're having any kind of symptoms, they're welcome to call the hotline number, and we can get that number. Chris, I think she got that number. They can call and go to either Woodstock or to Gilmer County and be tested. And Chris, you got that number?
Yeah, it's a toll-free at 888-881-1474, 1474. And that is the same for our region, so they'll either schedule you in Woodstock or LJ. They'll give you the choice after they screen you with the questions for symptoms.
But they do have to have some sort of symptoms in order to be tested.
Jasper's got that number also down there at the information center for people that need that information. Jared's had that number that we can refer them out. But they've got to be, as we all know, they've got to be, recommended, got to be symptomatic, as the statement goes, and before they just do some testing.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Anybody have any questions for the commissioner? Nothing. How about Johnny? You got any updates on your end, Johnny? Everything good?
The only update I have that's changed since Monday was the National Guard has been authorized to go into any nursing home, long-term care, or assisted living. If they request it, they'll go in and test all their patients and staff on site.
Okay.
But other than that, nothing else has changed.
Okay. And we'll move down to Mayor Lawrence. How are you this morning, sir?
Good morning, everyone. Doing really well, thank you. Glad to see this cooperation. I do want to tell the county that we do appreciate them working with us to get a joint statement out. We had to do that in a very big hurry to get that published in the progress, as well as on social media, and I'm thankful for their participation with that. The April the 30th, I'm going to let Brandon speak to that in a moment, but as far as my personal opinion, we need to keep our people as safe as we can, as long as we can, and I think that's true for everyone. So as long as the governor has this stay in place, then I think that we're perfectly within our legal rights to make sure that we practice that distancing by keeping our respective organizations closed to the public. We do need further clarification from the governor's office, and I hope that we get that this week. There was some indication that clarification would be coming, but I have not yet seen anything, and if any of you have, this would be the date and time to disclose that to everyone so that we can get that clarification out to the public. Because as every one of you knows, we are being asked for clarification on an hourly basis from our citizens wanting to know exactly how things will work and how when they can open up and what those rules are. So a lot of that needs to come from the state again, and some of the complications that they have introduced to us need to be clarified, and we hope that comes soon. From a banking standpoint, and I think that you all know that I pretty well live very closely with a banker that runs about 15 branches for Renaissance Bank. And this next wave of banking that's going to come up will go just as quickly as the last one did. So the bottom line is that if you're a small business out there and you want to participate in this PPC loans, then you need to be immediately, and I define immediately as being today, get with a banker and get your application in. This is how we can help our small businesses. If they will, it's not that hard of a process to do, and if they will do that immediately, then there is some hope for them right now. Enforcement, we'll talk about it another time, and hopefully we'll get more clarification from the governor on exactly how this enforcement is going to come down. And that's what I have, and I'm going to kick it over to Brandon for any details that he might need to add to that.
Thank you, Mayor, Sheriff. Thanks. Just a moment ago, I've drafted a memo along with supplemental attachment of the issue, the safety guidelines for reopening for the Georgia Board of Cosmetology and Barbers. There was about 4 or 5 pages of information, I think, created yesterday. And so I think what we're going to do from the city's end, and we're going to look over at the draft today with the county, and from our perspective, get that out to the businesses just to, once again, aid in the efforts of educating. Obviously, we would provide to Mary for KnowPickens posting and social media. But ultimately, I think our role at this point is to just continue to help in our collaboration and coordination efforts, and to add some clarity. Operationally for the city, we're continuing to hold steady, as the county stated, and as the mayor stated. I think with the daily news feeds and the updates, it would be a little premature for me to go much farther than day to day, but I think we are safe to say that April 30 is kind of the day we're looking at, whether or not there's going to be any further actions taken. But in that regards, everything's good. We're continuing to hold steady, and I'll stop. See y'all.
Okay, thank you, sir. And we'll go over to Vaughn with Jasper Fire.
Good morning. Everything in the city as far as call volume is still lower than normal. Supplies holding steady. We was actually able to get in a few more of the supplies that had been on back order, came in yesterday. Still waiting on some gloves, but other than that, everything in the city just remains the same.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And Chief Lovell, how are you this morning?
I'm fine. Good morning. All call volume is relatively low. We did have an incident the other night. The sheriff's office helped us with a young man decided to take his life. Hats off to the sheriff's office working with the city, helped us process that scene. We picked up some supplies, I believe, yesterday from Johnny. Thanks for that. Got some additional gloves, some masks, and some additional hand sanitizer. So other than that, we're rocking right along.
You getting any calls about any of the enforcement issues since the governor's come out with his new order? Or any?
Not yet. They may be coming through City Hall, but us personally, we haven't. But again, I don't know how we're going to do that. I think Mayor Lawrence, had an LJ councilwoman ask the question. I guess, is it still the same thing enforced by the Department of the Health, the State Patrol, and the Sheriff's Office? Is that still a go on that, or do we know yet, Sheriff?
Well, as far as I know we've got a couple of meetings today, and then, of course, we're still waiting on the guidelines to come out. So hopefully we'll know more as this thing rolls out in the next day or so. So hopefully by Friday, our meeting on Friday, we'll have some more answers.
Okay.
But we'll get that out as quick as we can, and Friday we'll hopefully have some more discussion on that. So.
All righty, that's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you. And Kristy, over at 911.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Good. How about y'all?
We're good.
The dispatcher we had tested on Friday came back negative for COVID, and I've got one more that's out that was tested yesterday, running a fever, like those symptoms.
Okay.
Waiting to hear back from her. They said they would know 24 hours. So should have something this afternoon.
Tested locally or?
Yeah, she went to Woodstock.
Okay. So let's just hope that one comes back negative as well. So, any issues or concerns y'all have there at 911 other than the testing of the employee?
No, normal operations for the most part. Testing the tornado side.
Just a quick update on our end. We're actually in good shape. All of our employees are back to work. Again, no positive test on our end. We've had some discussion since things are starting to open up just a little bit. We do want to remind our partners in law enforcement that we are going to continue our procedures that we have in place, trying to keep things at a minimum as we can. You want to, keep taking the precautions that we have in place. At least for the time being, we're going to continue keeping things the way we have it. I know the courts have in place their protocol until May 13th, I believe it is, and again, we'll know a little more after our meeting today, I think at 1 or 1:30. Let's see. Checking my notes here. Some of the guidelines, again, we hope to get a little more clarification as this week moves forward. I've had several calls from some churches about, how they need to move forward with their services. And some of the other local businesses are asking how we're going to enforce or if we're enforcing. And so as the mayor said, we'll get together and put some guidelines in place, and hopefully we can all share that with each other and share that with, Mary over at KnowPickens. We can get that information out as quick as possible. So we'll all hopefully be on the same page. So. It's like, I've done a lot of reading online with the public. A lot of people are for it. A lot of people are still upset. Just because they are open to some of the business doesn't mean that the threat has gone away. So we just want to encourage people to, if they can, to shelter in place and still keep those same precautions that we have in place, and just continue protecting ourselves. So, having said that, I really don't have anything else today. Again, I look forward to the meeting on Friday because I hope we'll have a lot more answers. I know a lot of us still have a lot of questions as we move forward with this week and the next week. And I know I personally I'm a little nervous about what's to come over the next couple of weeks and what we're going to be seeing. So we just hope and pray that things don't get worse, and as things start opening back up, things will get better. So, you guys have any questions for us or for anybody else? Mary, have you got any questions or concerns or anything you'd like to ask?
I got, Sheriff, it's Rob, I got a comment. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to give everybody a heads up, the road department and the water department starting Monday, everybody will be back on shift. We're going to divide them up, as for clocking in, those type of issues where they're not congregating, but, we're fixing to go ahead and, we've been trying to mow and things like that, clean ditches, fix pipes and all, but we're bringing the whole crews back on board Monday, and we're dividing them up. So you should be seeing a little more activity out here around the county starting Monday, Tuesday of next week. So we've got that going on. If y'all need any assistance anywhere else, but we'll have everybody come back in. Water and road department only at this particular time.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor, you have any questions or comments?
No, I just had some people asking about, like when, like the tag office and things would be open, but y'all answered that, I guess, at least April 30th, before things will open.
That's important, Mary, remember too, they are open, they're just, public can't come in the building.
Right. Yeah, I think she wanted to actually come in, physically in. So that was all.
If you have anything. All right. Well, thank y'all, and like I said, we'll get together again on Friday, and hopefully we'll have a little more information to share at that time. So,
Thank you.
thank y'all.